All right, let's turn Joe Biden facing a bitterly divided Congress. But according to the New York Times, he is the one to handle it.
In an interview with the New York Times, Biden said, quote, his decades-long brand of centrist deal-making would empower him to move beyond the bitter partisanship of the past 4 years and advance his agenda. And as president, Mr. Biden will need to build bridges to Democrats as well as to Republicans.
And here to react is Fox News contributor, media opinion columnist for The Hill, Joe Concha. Joe, welcome. Is it true? Is he the centrist guy that the New York Times is so glowingly telling us is going to bring this country together and make the deals happen?
Well, Rachel, fortunately, we have a prequel to look at, and that was the 8 years of Obama-Biden. You tell me how many deals were made during that time. Was Obamacare a deal, or was that pushed through on Christmas Eve along party lines? Criminal justice reform, one of the President Trump's signature achievements, could have been done under Biden-Obama administration, never got done. So I look back at the record in terms of Obama-Biden. I don't see much of that. Plus, the New York Times, boy, they're exactly the folks that should be talking about bipartisanship. The last time they endorsed a Republican for president was when Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel was #1. That was 1956, something like 30 years before we were born, of course. So, yeah, and they've yet to report on the Eric Swalwell Chinese spy story as well. So, yeah, the New York Times, perfect publication to be talking about partisanship at this point, Rachel.
Joe, you talk about record. Let's also talk about the history. Assuming that Mitch McConnell continues to be the Senate Majority Leader, Joe Biden and Mitch McConnell don't necessarily have a great track record together.
No, they don't, do they? And that's the whole thing, Griff, and it's a very key thing that's going to be happening on January 5th. That's only something like 9 or 10 days away in Georgia. Those two Senate runoffs that will decide who controls the Senate. Remember what we have. If Democrats win those two seats, you have a House controlled by Democrats. You have a Senate controlled by Democrats, essentially. And you have a White House, obviously the Oval Office, controlled by a Democrat. So Joe Biden will practically be a prisoner of his own party at that point, particularly the progressive wing, because what they want, if they could pass whatever they want, is abolishing ICE and the filibuster and the Electoral College. They want to expand the Senate in terms of adding D.C. and Puerto Rico as states. That means 4 more Democratic Senate seats in the Senate, and that will obviously overturn any majority that Republicans have. They want to expand the Supreme Court to look like a baseball roster so they could wipe out the conservative majority there. They want to ban fracking. They want to reallocate police funds. They want to raise taxes. Ultimately, they would have to if you want to pay for the Green New Deal, which is trillions of dollars, and free college and forgiving student loan debt. So that race, those two races in Georgia, that's the whole ball game, guys. And if Joe Biden, I think secretly deep down in places he doesn't want to talk about at parties, he probably wants a Republican Senate because he would have to deal then, therefore, with a party, a wing that he doesn't even recognize anymore in terms of all the things I just listed.
So that was what I want to go back to, Joe, for just a moment. Let's go back to the New York Times. You described the accuracy of describing Joe Biden as a centrist, as a deal maker, and looking back to whether or not there was a time before President Trump, quote unquote, that wasn't as partisan. What beyond the accuracy, Joe, what I'm surprised at is the yearning to go back to business as usual, the yearning to go back to the swamp, quite honestly, quite bluntly, go back to lobbyists being in charge and traditional political battle lines being drawn, just the same old that we've had for decades. Here is the New York Times asking for more of that.
Yeah, isn't that amazing, right? And remember, who did Joe Biden choose as his running mate? Who is the vice president-elect right now? It's Kamala Harris. If you look at GovTrack, okay, and then they don't have any partisan leanings in any way, shape, or form. They just rank senators in terms of who is least liberal and most liberal in this case in terms of this conversation. Guess who was voted the most liberal senator in the Senate in 2019, Kamala Harris. So if Joe Biden's plan was, okay, I want compromise and I want to go down the middle, certainly that pick didn't show it. And now, again, he's gone back to all these establishment folks in terms of filling his administration from the Obama years, where, again, to go back to the beginning of this conversation, didn't really like to compromise all that much. And the bottom line is also, guys, we have a media as well that's not built on playing nice and compromise. It's become so tribal at this point, and it's become built on conflict. So you're going to also have folks from CNN and MSNBC. I know, it's crazy, that are going to be very happy about playing nice. They want conflict because that's good for business, guys. Anyway, I think I got to go at this point. Yeah, go ahead.
We will have you back on in 2021 to talk about the newfound McConnell-Biden bromance perhaps coming. We shall find out if President-elect Biden needs to escape the left of his own party. Joe Concha, as always, fantastic. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Griff. Oh, by the way, I have a quick question for Rachel, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, Rach, so you got 9 kids. I have 2. I'm still cleaning up from Christmas. The place is trashed. I don't know how you do it. I hope that the husband is stepping up here because it's
No, when you have that many kids, you can delegate, so I get a lot of help.
That's right. They're old enough to clean after themselves. Okay, good. My kids can't get older soon enough. Thank you. I appreciate the advice. Bye,
Joe
guys.
Concha.
You got it,
as
Joe.
always. Thank you, sir.